Detective Knight Redemption is directed by Edward Drake, and it follows the steps of Detective Knight Rogue. It is the second chapter of a trilogy starred by Bruce Willis in one of his last roles before retiring from acting. Immediately after the events of Rogue, Detective James Knight is in prison. During the Christmas season, Knight gets caught up in the middle of a jailbreak, led by a violent fanatic named Ricky Conlan A.K.A. the Christmas Bomber. Knight strikes a deal to take out the terrorists in exchange for his reinstatement. With the bomber's henchmen terrorizing the city, Knight must seek justice at all costs. The first 20 or 25 minutes of the film are pure adrenaline. A great way to set the audience in the right mood. A thrilling action sequence as well, because we get to see the bombers in action while we are introduced to all the key elements plot-wise. Initially, you may get the impression that this should be a movie with a lot more action in its 97 minutes runtime. But it feels like Drake chose a different approach and focused on the tension between heroes and villains, and the way each of them plot, negotiate, and make their moves in order to stop each other's plans. Now, this is something I realized while watching the previous entry, but it became even more clear to me while watching Detective Knight Redemption. It takes a lot of skill to build a story around Bruce Willis's character, even though he doesn't get that much screen time. But the good news is that in spite of all this, Knight still remains a key figure story-wise. Speaking of characters, I think the Christmas Bomber, played by Paul Johansson, is by far the most interesting one, as it usually happens with the villains. His character's motivation is clear, and his drive keeps the story moving forward. It is such a well-written villain. The details of his background story justify all of his actions and make him believable. I liked the way that the third act manages to portray the moral dilemma of Knight, a man that has to become a monster to catch a monster, which ultimately kinda reflects this ever-present dark side of the character. Leaving aside all the shooting, bombing, chasing, and fighting, Detective Knight Redemption is a story about channelizing your rage and put it to good use. About characters from both sides of the spectrum pushed over the limit but still not backing up an inch. So I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Thank you guys as always for watching. Detective Knight Redemption had a limited theater run and it is already available on all major VOD platforms. And it will be released on DVD and Blu-ray on January 17. So if you happen to see it, please feel free to return to this review and just drop a comment below. I will continue doing both English and Spanish reviews on my channel. So if you would like to subscribe, that would actually be awesome. And hopefully, I'll see you next time.